Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell. We're getting into hot summertime. I don't understand why. It's like 50 degrees maybe? Going down to 40 now, I guess, but 72 in my apartment. All because of the sun. So, turns out the police raid was not Russ. It was somebody else. Still Mormon, but wow. So, yeah, another one bites the dust. As we're listening in the news, we are experiencing Republicans' retaliation in the states now, just as I told you they would. I told you to watch out for it now that Biden and Democrats are in control, that the Senate was not going to be the only ones to cause problems, but so too will all conservatives. And sure enough, even though this is what they were doing anyway before, this is what Trump was telling them to do all last year, but now they're purposely jumping the gun to open up their states. We don't have a cure yet, and the vaccines haven't been given to everybody, which means those who are left are the ones who they're now targeting. This is an extermination event, guys. When somebody wants you dead, and you don't see them with a gun pointed at your head, but they're telling you to do things that will cause your death, or cause harm to either you or your loved ones, that's even more devious. I grew up with kids like that in my school system. I learned to dismiss them, but apparently they're all grown up now, and nobody else is really dismissing them. They're like, yeah, jackass movies, woo! And of course I blame America's Favorite Home Video, or whatever it was called, where every single video was some guy getting nailed in the crotch, as the audience then laughs hysterically at it. So what's the church doing then? What is the church doing? Well, they've gone into secrecy. They're putting out a lot of news coverage about how charitable they are, giving all of Texas one truckload of water. Dear God. And they think they're fooling you, because they are, aren't they? How many of you have put thumbs down on this video already? They fooled you. You're their puppet. They control you and your behavior, and they're inciting you to violence. So I'm going to hold on to this. I'm just going to do this kind of video. As I see that it looks like I'm having a breakout video with the Book of Mormon canceled for April 2021 General Conference. We're going to go for more that are going to get canceled. But yeah, the church is old conservative. They're not neo-conservative, MAGA conservative, but they do show support for MAGA. And I've gone over that. They gave a whole official statement declaring they're all in for MAGA. Isn't that great? Now, obviously, because they're old school conservative, they don't come out and tell you. We're all in for MAGA. You're not going to find it in a quote. That's old school conservative. You know, they're like the Godfather. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, that's the church. They're the original Godfathers from 1923. That's when they had to reincorporate after the United States shut them down for their corruption. Edmunds Tucker Act. It's funny how the church doesn't teach us that. Why is that not in church history? Mr. Prophet? Are we criminals? Why, yes, Billy. Yes, we are. And a special kind of criminal. We're white supremacist. What's white supremacist? That's when you hate people. But Jesus said to love. That's right, Billy. You love your mom, don't you? Yes. Very good. You're very obedient. Yep. Even in Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, he says it's okay to love whoever you want to love. But he teaches you, if you want to get ahead in life, you may need to step on some people. So, this is what I am struggling with Mormons. I've talked to you about Daniel Trotter, who was once my friend. He befriended me. He wanted to make me a ward missionary. He was the ward mission leader downtown, and I had just been freed from my captivity, indefinite incarceration by the church, and so I can't really go out and cry. You know, the church had locked me up. Help! They're out to get me, because nobody would listen. And nobody does listen anyway now. And so we became good friends, and he had written a book. He had gone to some self-help seminar, got suckered into the idea that he can just do one book and it's going to be all about him. And people will flock to his book, all to want to know him, and then thus he becomes a celebrity. Yeah, well, he's done better than I have with his one book versus my who knows how many hundreds. Because I was using the tactic of get my name out there because of the computer programming. And Daniel, however, was still able to tap into the old system of getting popular with a book by knowing people who can get you into situations for book signings and stuff. And he then got me into one at Elko, Nevada. And so, yeah, he thought he was taking me under his wing, not knowing that I was taking him under his wing. Under my wing? Under my wing. But it's a different style than what he thought needed to be done to take someone under your wing. And my style annoys and frustrates people, specifically Mark Augustine, who was my missionary companion in Newburgh, New York for 6 whole long months, all because the mission president wanted to teach Mark a lesson for being a whiny bitch. It was hilarious. In month 5, I think it was, I actually heard Mark say, you know, I'm going to work with you and make this work so that, you know, they'll see that I'm working with you and they'll transfer me out. And so yeah, he had been told that what he needed to do to be transferred out, and transfers came. He stuck with me another month. So then he resorted to lying. Because the district leader and the zone leaders were trying to get numbers out of me, trying to say, well, will you covenant to get a number of baptisms, Travis? No. Will you promise to get a number of baptisms? No. I can't change the will of other people. They were in the sales mentality mode. You can't do sales with gospel. Even sales itself, you're trying to sell something to people that they may not even want. But who cares as long as they give you the money? And so a lot of missionaries had that attitude in the mission field where, it doesn't matter, it's all good because the church is true. So we'll just baptize by the 200 per month per companionship. Yeah, I'm getting 0 with Mark because Mark's always with Coford, the mission president, being a whiny bitch, and so it's just me with the zone leader or the district leader, depending on who wanted to spend the day with me, while Mark was being driven down to the mission home, or the mission office, I guess. But So what am I talking about in this video? Whiny little bitch Mormons? I told you the other day where my mind just goes so fast on different subjects that I can't speak them fast enough. Videos are the fastest way to get them out. Otherwise, the better way would be to just do the video and then go back later trying to write it all out onto notes. But that's not been working well either. Yep. Well, that's what happens when you follow the Book of Mormon and follow the faith process to knowledge, not warm fuzzy feelings. Is that you get results that is beyond your capacity to handle. I think there's even a scripture about that, where you won't be able to handle it. Let's see if that's the word or if... could handle, Chronicles could handle, cannot be controlled nor handled, only upon the principles of, no, I can't. It's not handle, I guess. Contain. Cannot contain it. Contain. Cannot contain even 100th part of that which has been done. They cannot all be written in the book. Yea, this book cannot contain even 100th part which was done among so many people in the space of 25 years. So yeah, that's similar, but that's a practical application example. Helaman cannot be contained in this work. Cannot be convinced. Records to contain, which contain. Nah, I can't. I can't think of the particular word, and the computer program doesn't do approximate words. So, yeah. I think I was talking about the church and how they do old school stuff. And, yeah, so expect that conference coming up. I mean, they've already done it. You know, the House had passed the Equality Act, and the church immediately put up their past official statement regarding how they hate people and they want people to suffer and die rather than give them fairness. That's their Fairness Act equivalent, which Utah conformed and complied. Yes, masters. And so now it's a law in Utah. So if Mormons wanted to, all they need to do is hear it from the prophet, and which they have. And everybody who's LGBTQIA+ can then be forced to go hungry, to go without medical aid, to go without an education, to go without other basic necessities, to go without housing, because the church is a religious freedom movement and their rights cannot be denied. You know, I've done that video. Not too many people care. That's kind of sad. So, alrighty. So yeah, I have other intentions to continue on with what works to get people's attention. So yeah, I have already planned LDS Church to abolish First Vision for April 2021 General Conference. And I'll tell you why whenever I get to the video. Unless it ends up being filed with the others.